Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It's December 2nd. It's officially Christmas month. Say what up to Santa Claus. But as you can tell by the title of today's video, roughly $24,000 in profits to pass the My Funded Futures 150K expert evaluation. So I want to run you through what I was looking at today in order to see the momentum of the market, where we were headed, but also how I was able to navigate somewhat of the chop this morning because that's exactly what it was. Although you see these massive green candles that we were moving to the upside, but simply put, if you're looking at the daily chart down here, bulls have been on parade. And if you love Rage Against the Machine, give me a comment down below. But bulls have been in charge for the better part of a couple weeks now, or a week or two. So it's been tough to watch the short side. And I will say I have blown accounts because I'm such a short-minded trader, meaning I love to play the downside. And when you're in a bull market, you are going to get ran through if you're not prepared. And over the years, I've been able to identify somewhat of a better entry point, but I still blow accounts like everybody else. Man, I'm human. It's part of the game. But I want to run you through what I was looking at and how we got here. So, what you're looking at is the hourly chart on the right hand side. And we had this daily high up here on the 25th, and we weren't really able to crest that. And then I figured today, based on how we coiled up right here and pushed up so strong, we were going to raid this pretty quickly. So, got through here, and as you could tell, we are simply moving up to, arguably, we're going to be heading to all-time highs very soon. But let's jump down into the lower time frames to look at exactly what we were seeing and how I wanted to play everything using the MACD to get us to this profit target. So we had a monstrous level of consolidation here. When you see consolidation this long, and on top of that, we're using some support down here that was resistance, you know that we're going to head largely to an upside. Volume profile stated that as well. We just gapped all the way straight through this. So I'm actually anticipating somewhat of a hangover day coming soon, but I didn't think we were going to see such a bull run this morning, but we did. So this is the 15-minute, and you'll notice all of my trades came roughly right about here. So let's get into the 5-minute chart. You'll notice we had our strong break at market open. I anticipated, and this is where the short mind of me came in, I anticipated seeing a pull down into VWAP. And this is yet another day, much like Black Friday was, where it was simply buy the dip. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now, whereas your hammer candle patterns or your dojis just aren't holding as much weight as they should be. And price has been very flicky, but ultimately the bulls have won every single battle so far. So taking that into consideration, we're looking at the 15-minute time frame here. This is where a majority of my profit came in, but let's get into the 2-minute time frame where it's just a little bit easier to see the entries and exits. I want to turn on the fills as well. Okay, so this was where we saw a majority of this area of interest where we were going to have somewhat of a breakout. And it happened right about here. So when you're looking at, I want to see if I can give us somewhat of a better depiction of this range. But when you're looking at this right about here, and then you had your pretty strong support right in here. So we had a pretty tight range that I would say you got the 50% line right here where we just never retraced to the bottom of this range. We kept pushing up, we kept pushing up. So we have the top end of the range here that we pretty much struggled with from about 10 all the way through 11 o'clock. So about an hour, hour and a half. This was just coiling up and coiling up and coiling up. And we didn't really see much of a break to the upside right here until we really swept out of this range. So when we got down to the downside, we grabbed some liquidity, if I had to guess, consolidated, and then we really pushed ourselves up. So here's where our entries. So what am I looking at to take these entries and get us to a majority of the profit target for these accounts? What do you notice as this is moving sideways? Looking at the MACD. Okay, the MACD is going down, but the price action really isn't reflecting that or following through. So price action moving down, still moving down. Okay, MACD starting to curl up, but we're still not going anywhere. And then what do we have? The massive breakout here. So as we're looking at the MACD down here, we're starting to see this really curl to the upside. And as we're curling to the upside, now we start to see the volume come in on the MACD because the volume is relatively thin as we're moving sideways, which means we're going to see a nice move to either side. I will say, I anticipated, which you'll notice by this red candle here in this loss, I anticipated actually a break to the downside. But as we look towards the upside, immediately flipped long and we cleared the volume profile all the way up. So this trade was what got me to a majority of the profit target. Now, this is where I struggle as a trader in full transparency. You'll notice that I get chopped around up here, $800 loss, $200 gain. And this is where I wanted to see some retracement into these imbalances that we saw in the volume profile. Full transparency, I thought we were going to see a retracement down here to 21,200. But on this trade where I gained another 2,000, we came right back into 21,215, which was the middle of this imbalance fair value gap, which I ultimately played to the long side, which got us to the profit target. And we are still going. So we're still going up. We're looking at a nice, strong green day so far. However, I am anticipating to see somewhat of a pullback. I just can't see how we're going to sustain this long. But I may add another expert account here towards the end of the day because I'm going to want to try to play an end of day squeeze or an end of day breakdown to get 3 full 150K expert accounts. So that's what I was looking at today, guys. Any questions, please give me a comment down below. I'm going to try to be much more diligent with my content uploading here on these trading days, working towards that ever elusive first payout, going on 2 years without my first payout. So we're still cruising towards it. I can see myself getting better as a trader to make this happen. But nonetheless, guys, working towards it. Want you to stick around through this journey. Going to try to get some better thumbnails going to make these videos a little bit more enticing to the masses. But of course, I appreciate your support if you've been here from day one. Please comment, share with your friends, and I will see you in the next video.